that we use in our business, and I'll explain throughout my discussion today how many people in this room actually work into our model as we go through. So first up, there's three parts to our business. There's the visionary side of the business and you working out what you want inside of that. There's a strategy side and there's a build side. So our business doesn't come in till down here, but there's many people in the room which would come into these factors before we even come in, okay? So first up, who's got a good story in their business? Who thinks they've got a good story in their business? Yep. I think it's really important that you have a good story because the marketing guys and ladies in this room will admit unless you've got a good story, you've got nothing to sell because you're just like everyone else out there in the market space. So I think it's really important that you have a good story and you have a good mission for your business because anyone heard that there's 80% of businesses go broke every single year? And after 10 years, there's 4% left if you're lucky, and that's how many are making a profit after 10 years. And Paula will be able to tell you that with all the business she's worked with over the year. So from there, for us, in your vision, you need to do some research on your product. If you've got a good use case for your product, why would you want to start a new product? Why would you want to start some new software? Why would you want to build an app unless there's something different about your product? And Rob will be able to tell you with his sales, unless you've got something different, why would people want to listen to you? Why would people want to buy your product unless you've got something different? So we believe it's really important that you go out there and you research the market before you bring a new app, a new product into the market space, and where are you going to be different? Because if you're not different, you're pretty much dead before you start. So the third option, we believe, is you've got to have some goals for your business. Now there's a totally different thought process when you start your business or you build a piece of software, and I'll give you a couple of examples. If you're going to build some new software, the first option is you're going to use it in your business. Different mindset if you're going to build a product and you are going to say sell it as a service. Anyone heard of Xero? Yeah, probably everyone uses it for their accounting. Software as a service, that's getting an income, a royalty income on a monthly basis. Different mindset. But if you're going to build your business from the start and you plan on selling it in 5 or 6 years, you need to think about it completely different. And your goals will determine where you fit inside of that model, whether you're going to use it, you're going to use it for a royalty, or you're going to sell it. You've got to think about it differently. Now, the next stage for us is requirements engineering, which is up here. And that's basically your collaboration model. Who's on your team? So in this room, I'm just going to go through this room on some of the people who have been in our model. So for example, Rob, he would be in the sales side. Paula should be in marketing. Glenn, he'd be doing the IT. Kelly, she'd be doing people down here for us. When we scale the business, we're looking for staff. Jeanette, she would be in there writing grants and writing proposals inside of the business. Zach, he would take photos for our marketing and that inside of our business. John, he'd be doing websites inside of the business, doing the marketing side. Kingsley, with your videos. Craig, insurance. Chris, design. AJ was stationery. Accountants inside of the room. So there's so many people in our model that we would want to build our team around up here before we even think of the idea that we're going to bring into market space. Anyone here into planning? If you don't plan, you plan to fail. Fantastic. Awesome. If there's anyone I've forgotten in here that we can't collaborate with, I apologise up front. I'm sure there's somewhere in there. So we think it's really important to plan because if you're going to spend some money, say, on building an app, you want to make sure that the idea is viable first before you even go out to market. So you want to spend as little as you can, build a product or a prototype, and you want to spend as little as you can. And we believe right here in your planning, that's your financial plan, your business plan. Where you're going to sell your product, who's going to buy your product, all those sort of things. And you need to have those in place right up front before you even go out there and take your product to market. We think that you want to try and spend as little as you possibly can on that. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. Cool. And then for us it's the user experience and a prototype. Does everyone understand what a prototype is? Okay, some do, some don't. So a prototype is basically if you were building an app for your phone, for example, you want to have it so it's what the look and feel and everything's going to be like before you go and build it. Because anyone understand that it costs a lot of money to build apps and software? Yeah, exactly. It costs a lot. So you want to spend as little money as you can. That's where guys like Chris would come in, where he'd be able to design prototypes and things like that for you. So you can get the look and feel of what it's like before you even go out to market. And from there, it's really important that you then start to bring your team into place. So as far as prototyping goes, you also need to have like a pitch deck. So that's where Rob would come in, where he can bring in his sales techniques and that, because you need to go, if you're raising funds for your product, you need to get some money behind you, you need to have a pitch deck. So get your marketing together. This is where your team starts to come in. Build your team, start to put your marketing together, put your prototype together, start to raise funds. Because if you're going to build a product that costs, say, minimum 100,000, you need to get some funds together to be able to put it together. So that's why we say user and prototype is really important for us. For us, the next step is system architecture. So that's really getting all your technical side of things together. What are you going to build your technical things on? Are you going to build it on WordPress for your website? Are you going to build it on PHP? Are you going to do an app that needs a certain technology and all the hosting and things required in order to put your product together? Okay, so we think that's really important. Who here has heard of MVP, minimal viable product? Yep. What did someone say there? So MVP for us, especially in this marketplace, you might have a great idea, but necessarily the market mightn't want it. So we believe it's really important that you take a minimal viable product to market, and then you try to build your audience and build your community around it. And if you're not going to build a community around it, seriously, your product's really, in my view, it's not going to go anywhere. So you want to get your community involved in it and get them give you the ideas that you want, that you're going to take and you're going to scale your business. So we think it's really important that you build your community, build your minimal viable product from a technical perspective before you even and let your community help you to scale. And then when I was talking about all your team up here, this is where they all come in when you go to scale your business. So if you don't have your sales in place, your marketing in place, you need your IT team, like Glenn, to be able to do that. This is where Kelly would come in and start to bring the people into your business. Jeanette with more of the writing and marketing. Zach with more photography. Chris with more design. Pretty much this is where your whole team would come in from a scale perspective. All right. Any questions on that so far? I know that's pretty short and sharp. No? I'll leave it at that today because I know we'll be running a bit behind time, so I'll hand it back over to you guys.
Yes. What's your view on a motto, handle more, sells more,
like
or
it.
whatever?
Yeah, that's marketing team. I think that's a great idea.
How good was that for any type of business? Even if you are mobile in your business now, it makes you really think about it and step back a bit and have a look at it and speak to an expert who can give you a really, really good possible direction. Or if you do know someone who is having a startup business, and it doesn't matter what field is, because I'm guessing the principles are all the same
Pretty much.
in any type of business. So that's, I think I've been waiting to hear from you for quite some time, so So that was sensational. Yeah, Paula?
Yep. So Darren, on you can't see that, but there's
That's that there.
blockchain technologies, NFTs. So how does that work into today's app?
Yeah. Pretty much, I look at blockchain as a glorified database, very secure, and there's a lot of different technologies out there that you can utilise inside of blockchain to solve a problem. So all software is, to me, is the ability to be able to solve a problem in a business, and you just use that software where the problem is. Yeah.
I've had the pleasure to know Darren for about 12 years, and he absolutely gives so much to people. So if anyone's got any questions, he couldn't be a nicer guy than Darren.
Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate
Sorry,
it.
excuse me.
Thank you, appreciate it. So if anyone would like access, so I've got a full workbook.
You just
Yep.
completing a project now. Just a quick, what you just done, so people understand exactly what you went from A to B with that restaurant.
Cool. So that's about 6 months ago, I was asked to build a restaurant management POS system, point of sale system. So the guy was working with a third-party company and he wanted to own his own software. So we've built pretty much the ability to take on, exactly here. So the ability to do QR code orders, online orders, point of sale system, pretty much everything you could think of to run he's got 3 stores, and we're then going to build it for we've got a franchise model of that software that we're about to build. So yeah, we're still working through. I'm going to see him straight after here. But pretty much anything from custom software through to apps.